Ready to dominate at the plate? Blast Baseball is trusted by more major league and college teams than any other hitting solution. The Blast sensor attaches to the knob of any bat, providing real-time feedback with every swing. Go to blastmotion.com and enter code NOWD1 at checkout to save $25. All right, everybody. It is 9 o'clock. Let's get right into it. We do this series every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitter Spaces. I'm Alan Gay, and this is Now D1 Speaks. I am super excited that Ashton Shannon is joining us tonight. He's a 24 uncommitted prospect from Virginia. Hey, Ashton, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hey, great. So happy to talk with you tonight. Why don't you introduce yourself? Maybe tell us about your high school, travel team, GPA, maybe even how you got into baseball.
I'm a 2024 high school grad at North Cross High School in Roanoke, Virginia. My GPA is a 3.93. I play for the 17U Dirtbags as of right now. Yeah.
Hey, how'd you get into baseball?
I think I got around playing baseball around the age of 3 or 4. My dad got me one of those big barrel wiffle ball bats, and that's kind of how I got into it. I loved hitting and playing with my dad. So when summer came around that year, my mom signed me up for rec ball, and they didn't have t-ball, so I jumped right into coach pitch, and I've loved the game ever since.
Man, that's awesome. And that's the way to do it. No need to play t-ball. Just jump straight into it and start rolling. You're playing with kids probably older than you, bigger than you right from the beginning. That's awesome. And who doesn't love wiffle ball with the big giant bat? You probably still get that thing out every now and then and play with it.
Yes, sir, I do. I definitely will.
I love that, Ashton. Hey, so what positions do you play? And what are some of your strengths? And what are a couple things that maybe you're working on?
So I play third base primarily, and I'm a right-handed pitcher, and then I can play first base as well. One of my strengths is I'd like to say my hitting. I've always been a strong kid most of my life, and I feel like that's come pretty naturally to me with this hitting. And I've made some great jumps to increase my skills. I sit around 92 exit velo off the tee, topping out around 95 off the tee. Another strength is probably my game sense, my knowledge of the game. I pay attention. I love to learn, so I feel like I've retained a lot from all the coaches I've played under and met throughout my beginning of this recruiting stuff. I mean, just the flow of the game just kind of clicked. Just how the ball moves, where to go, when to run, when to steal, all that stuff has kind of just been a knack for me. I mean, a weakness for mine would probably be my 60 time. Although it may not be the fastest, I've learned to get good jumps and to be able to steal bases even though I'm not the fastest on the team. And then along with all of that, I sit 80s across the diamond and then an 85 on the mound with the topping out at 88.
Man, that's fantastic, Ashton. I tell you, you are athletically gifted, but the knack for the game that you're kind of describing, it just sounds like you are a natural. And honestly, I think you got some big news today. Do you kind of want to tell us what happened?
Yes, sir. We had some awards for athletics, and I ended up actually getting the MVP award. And then later this evening, I found out I made first team All-State for the Division II, which was a big deal to me.
Hey, man, that's a big deal to anybody. Congratulations. That's quite an honor. And to do that in your junior year, that's really big time right there, Ashton. Nice job, man. Congratulations. Hey, to everyone that's listening, thank you. And thank you to those who joined late as well. We record this series, so if you were late, please listen to the recording afterwards and you can hear the show in its entirety. We'll retweet the recording as soon as we finish it later this evening. So let me ask you something, Ashton. I mean, you're giving a great, just real quickly, you've already given a great rundown on kind of the history that you put into the game, your skill set, which is 80 plus. I mean, you're top notch with skill set. We can tell that. So what is it that you really do to kind of stay motivated at this point to continue to improve your skills and really just keep pushing yourself?
I think I think for me, the thing that pushes me the most is my love of the game and the want to play at the best I can play at. It's just something I always enjoy, like the work. I love putting in the extra work. I love going out and hitting. I love going out and throwing a bullpen. I love throwing with anybody I can find. And then with that, I mean, playing all the games I can play because I love playing with different teams, meeting new people. It's just something I've always enjoyed.
Man, that's so cool, and that's such a big part of it. I mean, baseball's still a game, and you got to have fun. And if you're having a good time playing, but you're also having a good time kind of pushing yourself and measuring yourself, you probably have internal goals that you've set, and you're thinking to yourself, how do I get to each one of those goals? And that's probably a lot of your fun, just strategizing that piece.
It definitely is. I definitely have my goals like hitting 90 on the mound and upper 90s off the exit velo. I want to sit somewhere between 96 and 98 off the tee by my senior year. So, and I've got time for that. So I'm excited to get working.
Yeah, for sure. Big time, Ashton. Hey, in your playing time since you first started with your dad with the wiffle ball and your mom getting you signed up with rec ball, I know you've had probably a lot of memorable moments. Certainly a lot of achievements. You've described a couple of great achievements today that you were rewarded with for your play on the field. But let me ask you something. If there was maybe one particular moment or one achievement that just stands out more than anything else, what would it be? But really, more importantly, what did you learn from it?
Honestly, the probably the most memorable one that I've learned a lot from was probably I had a really rough weekend one year. I went like over 12, over 15. It was really hard on me mentally, but after that, I kind of took it like I got to get better. I got to keep going. So after taking that mental break that night, I kind of reset and I got back into it, and I ended up going and hitting as much as I can, trying to improve that spot, and then after that, I was like, I can't just stop here. I gotta get better on the mound, and I gotta work on my field. I gotta keep getting better in all parts of my play.
Man, well, I'll say you certainly did get better. How old were you when you had that rough weekend?
I was probably that time. I think I was around uh, 16. Probably last. It was last summer that was the biggest hit to my baseball career.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's kind of a blow to your confidence, to roll into a weekend. Was it like a tournament?
Yes, sir. It was a tournament. I was playing up for 18U, and even though they were better, I felt like I should have been able to play with them.
I hear you. Man, that's a tough spot. I'm just kind of thinking about that. You're 16 playing with kids that are 17, 18. If it's 18U, there may have even been a couple of 19-year-olds that were playing too. It's just kind of the way it is. And you had to, a lot of guys were probably looking at you saying, hey, what's this kid doing out here? And then you go out and struggle too. That just made it that much worse. Probably would have been a lot easier just to kind of hang your head and quit a little bit. But it sounds like that really turned you on and lit a fire.
It definitely did. I mean, there's definitely parts of that where I wanted to hang my head a little bit, but I knew I couldn't. And there was a few players on that team who definitely were like, "Oh man, you got this. You got to keep going," and that really helped. Those kids were some kids who were really nice to me, and it helped a lot to keep going.
Man, Ashton, I am really glad that you shared that. That says a lot about the character of those kids, and you obviously remembered that. I can only imagine the day will come that you'll see someone else struggling, and you're probably going to have that same type of encouragement and just kind of, pass that forward. That's really impressive, Ashton. Hey, anybody, just as a heads up, I have posted a tweet, and the tweet that I posted was the state team, the all-state teams, as the players that were announced. Really kind of wanted to highlight that and put that out there that Ashton is first team. second division, right? Division two. And it's quite an honor. But if you swipe up on the nest, you'll see the tweet. And what's kind of cool about it, you can just click it and you'll get to his information pretty quickly if you want to get in touch with him. So, Ashton, let me ask you something. Right off the bat, you kind of talked about your GPA, the 3.93. And that's an outstanding GPA. And that's something that just doesn't happen. There's a lot of work and a lot of effort that goes into that. So and there's obviously a lot of work that's going into your baseball career as well. And so how do you balance those two and really keep your academic commitments and grades up while taking care of baseball?
Gosh, that was it was definitely really my freshman year. It was that COVID year, so at first I really could have focused a lot more on baseball. I didn't really have to deal with the school part. School wasn't as hard as it really could have been. But then my sophomore year rolled along. I started getting AP classes, and it put a toll on that mentally, because it was such a hard time with schoolwork and balancing everything. I really had to like start putting extra work in with during school. Anytime I could find during study halls, I'd study, or I'd have to do my work. I'd have to spend that 30-minute time gap between my practices and the end of school with in particular my AP physics teacher, trying to understand the material and everything. That really is it was a really hard time. And then this year I was able to really space out. And after that year, I was really able to space out like each class. I know what I got to do. I need to do it at this time. I was able to really space it out and find a good rhythm that worked for me. And then I was able to spend a lot of my evenings on baseball since I got most of my work done during the day.
Man, that's a great rundown. And just a couple of things just came to my mind as you were talking. One, these are serious classes that you're taking. This wasn't a gift that they were rolling out to you. These were serious big-time classes, and I'll give you a lot of credit for jumping into some heavy workload at such an early age and early grade right off the bat. And then the second thing, man, you really learned so much discipline early. And as hard as that was at the time, I think it's paying dividends now. The way you were kind of describing, now I'm able to space things out. I kind of realize what the workload is. I've got a better schedule as I'm working through these things. And then when I get to the baseball field, I can focus only on baseball. I'm not sitting here thinking about, oh my goodness, the work I didn't do, or I still got to do this. And you're not really concentrating at the work that's at hand on the field. Really impressive. That's so much maturity to be able to show that at an early age.
Yeah, definitely. That was something. Honestly, especially in the middle school years, my mom was able to help me get straight, at least on studying and how to study, and that you needed to start earlier in the week, so you didn't have to worry about something the next day if you had a game or a long day before the day before a test.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how wise those mamas are. Sometimes you don't want to hear it, but it's incredible. Moms seem to be pretty smart for some reason. Hey, are there any particular players or coaches over the last 10 years plus that you've been playing baseball that have really been influential in your development? And who are they?
I'll probably have to say Chad Anderson is probably one of the most influential coaches I've had. I got introduced to him this past winter. He's really gotten my hitting going. He's helped me understand the way the swing works and the flow, and how I need to move it, and just a whole nother perspective on my hitting that's really helped me tweak and change my hitting to get to where I am now.
Man, I love that. How did you meet Coach Anderson?
I met him through. I did meet him through one of my dirtbags teammates from the summer. I was just asking around because I didn't really have a good like a hitting coach that I was pretty permanent with. So I was asking around, and my friend DeAndre, he's like, I go to this guy. A lot of dirtbags guys go to him. You should try him out. He's really helped me along the way. So I was like, okay, I want to try him out. So I did, and I've loved it ever since. So,
man, that's big time. And again, I tell you something that kind of stands out to me, Ashton. You've really surrounded yourself with quality people, and I'm talking about the players. You know, It's easy for one guy to look at another guy and think, hey, let me try to hold him down so that I'll look better. But here you just described a teammate that was like, look, Coach Anderson's a good guy. He's very knowledgeable. He's helped me. I think you should check him out too. And that kind of atmosphere just creates a winning attitude, you know. And I can tell that kind of thing is really rubbing off on you. You've got great people that are hanging around you.
Yeah, I'd like to say that. I especially like to make sure those people who, like, I've definitely dealt with, everybody has their fair share of negative people, and I'm I've tried my best to stay away from that. And getting this dirt bags, I had a great fall the year before this one, and then the summer it was my first summer with this team, and everyone on that was so supportive. I was very thankful to be on that team. It was just a great experience.
Man, that's awesome. I love that. That name's kind of ironic, isn't it? Dirtbags. And I got to tell you, though, the Dirtbags, honestly, they have a great reputation. In case you don't know this, Ashton, and for anybody that's listening, Ashton and I, this is the first time that we're meeting. We're just kind of getting to know each other. This entire conversation is live. We don't say, oh, my goodness, I didn't like that take. Can you ask me that question again? You're just hearing it. It's totally raw. But I'll tell you, I live down in Florida. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and the Dirtbags are a national team. There's several travel teams across the country that I instantly recognize their name and their reputation, and that's certainly one of them. Hey, everyone who's joined again, thank you so much. Certainly appreciate you guys being here. I do want you to know that we turned this Twitter space into a podcast. That podcast is named the Now D1 Speak Show, and it's on every major podcast platform. I would certainly appreciate it if you would, whatever your favorite listening app is, if you would look us up, the Now D1 Speak Show, subscribe to our show, and would certainly appreciate a 5-star rating as well. Hey, I'm thinking about, especially as you were describing your academics and kind of the way you put everything in place to have a strategy moving forward, and some of the tough classes that you are taking. I'm thinking about you going through a 7-hour day, really top level classes, the stress of just a normal school day, walking out of that classroom onto a baseball field for a light workout, for a practice, more than likely a game. How do you make that switch where you can just kind of turn the academic and everything else in your life off and really focus and turn yourself on to a baseball game?
I mean, for me, it's been pretty easy. I mean, there's been some days where it's been really hard. Like after a big exam, your brain's almost kind of like mush. But for the most part, once I get to the field, probably about or as soon as I do, or 30 minutes before we start getting warmed up or anything, I really just kind of put my phone down. I don't look at it because that keeps my mind off of things, and I just start enjoying the day. It's like it's another day of baseball. I get to be out here. I get to be playing. I want to enjoy this because it's my favorite sport to play. So that's how I really do it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. You really keep it fresh and you keep it fun. You keep it energetic. I love it. That's outstanding. Hey, what are you kind of thinking about? I know that you just had a stellar junior career. You got great recognition. You're rolling into the summer, playing with the team that you obviously like, that you played with last year as well. So, and then next year, I'm sure you have high hopes for your senior year. So just kind of short term through the summer and through next year, what are your goals and maybe some things that you're working on that you'd really like to achieve? And then a little bit longer term goal, maybe over the next 2 to 5 years. What would you really like to be able to do?
Um, for at least short term, I'd love to just keep on hitting. Get a few more home runs racked up, and just keep that grind going. Then I'd love to get up to maybe at least during my senior year, get up to 200 strikeouts for career. That would be awesome. Over the summer, I just honestly that summer is just for me. I feel like it's just a showcase. Just have fun, play, just keep on going. That's just for me to really. To me, it's just like that's where you improve and just keep on going and improvement. those coaches, I feel like, would see that. Like, you're improving, you're trying your hardest. If you've got that athletic swing, they'll see that, they'll enjoy that. And then for long term, I'd love to go to the best college I could. At least for baseball, I want to go to the best place for me. And then academically, that's always been it's something I care about a lot. So a school that's academic and baseball strong is really the biggest dream for me.
That's a great dream. Would that kind of school be, if you had your choice, would that be an in-state school, a large state school, maybe a smaller private school, out of state? What's kind of a little bit of a comfort zone? I get the academic and competitive baseball piece. I absolutely appreciate it and think that's the right fit for you to kind of marry those two. But are you looking at a big school, a little bit smaller school, in-state or out of state?
For me, I'm a big home guy. I love my family, so in-state school, something closer to home. I don't want anything too far away. And I mean, with how close we are to the Carolinas, I mean, I'm okay with going just a few hours down there, but for the most part, it's in-state. I'd love to do that. And then if private school is where I can get the best academics, I'd love to go to one of those. But if a state school, a bigger school is the big fit, if that's end up being what I want to, like, that's really got the best academics, it's got my major, that's what I'm really end up looking at, I'm no issue going to one of those.
Well, I got to tell you, Virginia absolutely has top-notch colleges. You know what I mean? I mean, Virginia is loaded with colleges. And honestly, so is North Carolina. And both states, really good baseball as well. A little bit of a hotbed for athletes. Hey, but in order to be able to get to that school, wherever that school is going to be, you kind of need to be recruited too if you're going to be able to play baseball. Can you give us a little insight as to where you are in your recruiting process? If you're just getting started, if you've already heard from some schools, or are you starting to narrow down choices, or are you just wide open?
I'm starting to. I got a few looks. I've got some strong D3 programs going on. I've got one offer, and then I've got some closer schools that are looking at me. I mean, I'm still open for anybody who wants to reach out. I love to keep looking. I'm still trying to make sure everything's a right fit school wise. I know I found a pretty good school that looks pretty promising right now, but I want to make sure that's the one before I completely make my decision.
Man, Ashton, congratulations. It's so exciting. I mean, you have put in the hard work already. You've done the academic piece. You've done the athletic piece. You're getting the recognition. You're starting to really think about school choices and so forth. I mean, you're right on the cusp of your life. Your life is about to open up. You are literally one of the things that you always hear, when you're about to make a decision on what college you're going to go to, you're really not making a 4-year decision. You're truly making a 40-year decision. And you are right here at that 40-year decision. You should be, and I can only imagine how your parents are feeling, but you should be very proud of the work that you put in. And I got to say, I love this type of forum. I love listening to guys like Ashton talk and to hear the character they have, the mental fortitude that they have, the record that they are putting down, and to be thinking so maturely about what am I going to do with my life here over the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, it just speaks volumes. I know if I was a coach, and I can only imagine college coaches are stretched thin on recruiting budgets, time. They don't have the luxury of just going around the country and watching baseball players play. If they have the opportunity to listen to kids, I say kids, young men that they're interested in, or maybe they don't even know, and they hear someone like Ashton, I got to tell you, I think that they would be impressed. And I think they would be very, very interested in Ashton. Hey, and speaking of uncommitted kids, if there's anyone that's listening maybe for the first time and you're an uncommitted high school prospect, graduating 23 through 25, or even an uncommitted JUCO, and you would like to be on this show, please reach out to me. I'm at now_D1. I will tell you this show is booked through about mid-June, but we are scheduling for the latter part of June and beyond. I would love to talk to you. So, Ashton, let's kind of end it maybe on this one last question. And, you kind of looking at the younger guys. If you had the opportunity to talk to somebody that was in middle school and they are really about to go to the big field, we'll put it kind of that way. They're about to step onto the big field and they love baseball and they've got their heart's desire is to play baseball for the rest of their life. What kind of advice would you give them?
Especially for those first year freshmen or the middle schoolers, eighth graders playing up, you got to understand that your first year may not be the easiest. That year is a really big development year. You don't have to worry too much about getting recruited immediately for college. I got to say, you really just got to put in the work that year. You got to almost overdrive that first year, so then the next year you can take a breather, see where you are, and then you got to keep working. You got to keep working hard all the way through until you get committed, and even after that, my thing is you can't stop working. That's my biggest thing. It's always working hard, along with focusing on academics. Academics will always help in the long run.
Man, Ashton, that is such good advice. And you are so right, man. Start fast. Put in the hard work early, and it makes it so much easier to maintain. It's very, very difficult to be trying to catch up at the end. Great advice. Fantastic advice. I got to tell you, I've really enjoyed getting to know you tonight. And I'm really honestly looking forward to seeing where your career goes. Again, if there are any uncommitted prospects listening and you'd like to be interviewed, please contact me. Everybody else that's listening, find the Now D1 Speak show. Give us a 5-star rating. We would absolutely appreciate that. I will tell you that tomorrow night, I've got another 24. His name is Adonis Jenkins. He's out of California. I think that's going to be exciting. I would invite you to come back and listen to that interview as well. Hey, Ashton, thank you. I hope that you had a good time doing this and it was a good experience. I've certainly enjoyed it.
I had a great time. I really, truly appreciate you coming out and inviting me out, letting me share my experiences and everything. It's been a great
It
talk.
has been a great talk. And hey, congratulations, man. Congratulations on being All-State. Congratulations on the MVP and the hard work that you put in. I really appreciate that very much, Ashton. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much and good night. Hey, let me ask you something. Are you ready to dominate at the plate this season? Blast Baseball is the #1 hitting improvement solution, trusted by more major league, college, and travel ball teams than any other. The Blast sensor attaches to the knob of any bat, providing real-time feedback with every swing. Metrics are automatically sent to a smartphone app, generating insights that allow you to analyze and improve your hitting like never before. Go to blastmotion.com and enter code NOWD1 and you will save $25 at checkout. Unlock your potential with Blast.